Hi, my name is Kayleen and I'm the Pilates mechanic here in the BB Garage. Today we're going to talk about tuning your Cadillac canopy. Now this procedure can also apply to your reformer trapeze combo unit. We might call that an RTC, but we're going to show it today on the Cadillac. So oftentimes when I'm out visiting studios, I'll go around to the Cadillac and I'll take their slider bar and it will go down just fine, but then it starts going up and it won't go anymore. Okay? And maybe I'll see that, the push-through bar gets a little bit stuck. It doesn't swing freely through those uprights. So that's what we're going to try and troubleshoot today. Okay? So to start, we're going to take our cotter pins that we should have saved from when you first assembled this unit. If you don't have cotter pins, you can use like a building nail or maybe some really tiny Allen wrenches. But these cotter pins are going to slide right through the little pinholes on your vertical tubes. Okay? And I say right through, but sometimes it takes a moment to find the hole on the other side. There we go. So the reason that we put the cotter pins in is because we're actually going to take your Allen key and loosen all the set screws that have to do on this end. Okay? So I've got my 3/16 Allen wrench here, Allen key, same thing. And the cotter pins are just going to be there so that the whole side of this unit doesn't fall to the floor. Okay? So let's go ahead and loosen up our set screws. Now there are 4 set screws on the bottom of this pole, and we're going to loosen all 4 of them. And they don't have to come out or anything like that. We're just loosening them enough so that the pole can slide there. Sometimes you'll hear that nice thunk. Okay? And that's just the pole seating on the cotter pins. And then we do the 4 on this side. Okay, so what that does is that sort of loosens up all the pinch points at the bottom. Then we do the same thing at the top, okay? Because we know that we think that something is going on width-wise here, we're going to do these top set screws that control the width. Okay, so now if I were to sort of pull this apart, there's a little bit of wiggle room here, okay? So our problem was that this slider bar was not going up, and I imagine it's because the top was a little bit too pinched together, okay? So now that I've loosened the top set screws, the bottom set screws are free to sort of float. We can take our slider bar all the way up. It should move now, okay? And we're going to use this slider bar as a gauge. It's sitting there, and then we tighten these top set screws again. Okay? So now the top of our frame is going to stay at that width. Okay? So that's great. Leaving the slider bar here, we're going to go back and retighten all the set screws at the bottom here, so that we anchor the poles in place appropriately. I'm not tightening these too tight, okay? They need to be snug, but this is actually a pretty secure fit, okay? Okay, so before I take the cotter pins out, I'm going to test the slider bar. There we go. So now it slides all the way up and down just fine. So we know all the set screws and all these poles are in a good position. They're no longer pinched. So we're going to finish by taking our cotter pins out, and then it should be ready to use. Okay, so I've got a little trick here. I'm using another cotter pin to pull the other one out. You can also use a pair of needle nose pliers as well. Okay, so my cotter pins are out. And now this side of the canopy is ready to use. Two things I want to finish with. First, this principle applies anywhere else on the canopy. So if your horizontal slider on the top is having this issue, you would apply the same principles. You might just loosen all the set screws on the other side in addition to this side. Okay? Same thing if your push-through bar doesn't swing freely. Same principles we just used here. Okay? The second thing is sometimes someone has come before you and really over-tightened your set screws. They don't need to be that tight. So I'm going to show you a little trick that will help get you more leverage on your tiny little Allen wrench in case these screws are too tight. Okay? So to do that, we're going to use a combination wrench. Pretty much any size will work. Okay? And we'll say that this set screw is pretty tight. I know I want to go lefty-loosey here. Okay? So I'm going to take the circular end of this wrench and place it, I always get this backwards, we're going to place it over here so that I've got some pushing power. Okay? So now I've got a longer lever arm to push the Allen wrench in the direction I want to go. Okay? Of course, you can always do it the other direction, but that's going to make it impossible to get off again. So when you tighten, just use this, and if it's too tight to get loose again, add the combination wrench. All right, so that's all we have to say about the canopy tuning for today. If you need more videos like this one, you can go to pilates.com/bbgarage. I'll see you there.